Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa barakatuh.
During Ramadan, we are obligated to give a zakah, a certain type of zakah, which is called Zakat al-Fitr. What are the different rulings and what do we need the people to know about it?
Right, Zakat al-Fitr is an obligatory, as Ibn Umar radiallahu anh said that the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam made it an obligatory upon every male, female, slave, free man, old, young, all members of the family must give Zakat al-Fitr. And Zakat al-Fitr is sa', which is almost 3 kilograms, like about 6 pounds, I would say, of a common food of the country where you're living in. So, for example, here could be 6 pounds of rice or beans, So the stable food, they call them.
Right.
So there is a difference between, do you have to give it in a form of food or can you give it what is equal to it? I think this issue is lenient. Alhamdulillah, both opinions have a tremendous amount of support of scholars, of evidence to support to them. And in general, Zakat al-Fitr, what is intended for, it is for the best interest of the poor. That's why it was reported in Daraqutni, أغنوهم عن السؤال. It's to make them that day feel comfortable, feel rewarded, feel not in need, not to worry about food. So هي في مصلحة الفقير, for the best interest of the poor. It's not like al-udhiyah. Al-udhiyah is not about the faqir. It's about you offering the sacrifice as a worship, as an act of worship. It's about you purifying yourself. Zakat al-Fitr, it has purification for you, but also there is a big emphasis on how it will impact the poor person. Right. And usually when it's about the poor, as Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah said, we look for the best interest of the poor. Is it money or food? Is it this type of food or that type of food? You see? So here we say, because of this, we say, alhamdulillah, I think it's a lenient, al-amr is not that strict. You can do either way. And I'm saying this because in many masajid, they said Zakat al-Fitr $10, $12. Somebody asked me once, why it is different every year? 10, 9, 11, 12. I thought it should be consistent. I said, it's not money. It's how much the rice cost or the beans, whatever you're going to be, the staple food you're going to look at that time. So that's what it is. It's not a money. It is that amount and what is equal to it in dollars. So can be upper, can be high or lower based on where you giving the food or which country you're living in, and inflations and grocery these days are expensive.
I remember when we moved into this place about 17 years ago, maybe more. No, 16 years ago, it was $8.
Yeah,
and people thought it was too much, and now it's 12 15, is even less. I mean, it could be even more than 12. Yes.
Yeah. So, with this been said, you can give it to the masjid or to organizations to give it on your behalf. And it should be given, as Ibn Umar radiallahu anh, we used to give it a day or two before Eid. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, whoever give it before Salah, it is zakat. And after Salah, it is sadaqah. This hadith made the scholars debate over, if I did not give zakat al-Fitr before Salah, and I give it after Salah, is it considered zakat fitr or not? Some scholars, the minority, said no, because it's form of sadaqah. The majority of the fuqaha said no, it's still zakat. But you take the ajr of sadaqah.
Okay.
Why? Because the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam قال من أداها قبل الصلاة فهي زكاة ومن أداها بعد الصلاة فهي صدقة. So he used the same word, أداها, which is he fulfilled the obligations.
That's a good point.
So they said he fulfilled the obligation. But it is sadaqah, it reduced in its reward.
Yes.
And also there is another hadith from Bukhari that the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam قال, when it comes to Zakat al-Fitr, قال في يوم الفطر. And yawm, it means from the Fajr all the way to Maghrib. And that's what led the majority of the fuqaha said Zakat al-Fitr can extend all the way to Maghrib. But the best way to give it before Eid, because that's the whole point, is to reward them.
Yeah.
But if you can't, that's why some people put it in the box when they go to the masjid, Salat al-Eid and stuff like that. It's not too late. You still can do it. And you must give it to every member of your household. Anybody lives with you in your home or you're in charge of on their behalf.
Yes.
طيب. Can my wife give it on herself and I give myself? It's up to you, but it should be you giving in behalf of your family. But if she wants to do that, so that's fine. What about your kids who's studying in college, not with you at home? Yes, you give it on their behalf because they're still under, unless they give it themselves for themselves. It's up to them. But what about pregnant women? Uthman radiallahu anh said you should give on behalf of pregnant, but the majority of the Sahaba and the ulama said no, only born child.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
So it is just recommended, but not wajib, to do it on behalf of the a child who's not born yet, like if your wife is pregnant.
What about if you have in your household, like you have Muslim and non-Muslim, you give it
on behalf of Muslim only, because it is tuhra lis-sa'im.
Okay.
Zakat al-Fitr for the fasting. Zakat al-Fitr, Waki' ibn al-Jarrah used to say, Zakat al-Fitr is like 2 sajdat al-sahu. You know when you mess up in your salah and you make 2 sujood to make up whatever mess? The same thing. That's why Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam قال هي طهرة للصائم من اللغو والرفث. It's a purification for the fasting person, which is so beautiful. Zakat al-Fitr give you the indication not to be arrogant at the end of Ramadan, because you still need to be purified because you did not do perfect job.
And that's with every act
Ibadah.
of worship.
Yeah.
After the prayer, we always say
Astaghfirullah,
Astaghfirullah. Yes.
And Hajj.
So you won't feel like you're doing Allah a favor. You're not.
Yeah. And also Zakat al-Fitr shows you the continuity of ibadah. I just finished Siyam, I'm doing Zakat. Zakat al-Fitr also tells us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to focus on 2 things. Internally fixing ourselves, and that during the whole month of Ramadan, and externally by helping others, which is zakat. Don't forget about others. Not because you're fixing yourself, you don't care about others. So also Zakat al-Fitr is everybody, even anybody have enough food for that day must give Zakat al-Fitr. To the extent that Fuqaha rahimahullah said poor people in the time of the early generation used to give each other Zakat al-Fitr. Yani this household faqir, he receives Zakat al-Fitr, but also he gives Zakat al-Fitr to someone else.
And that actually
teach every member in the community to be a giver, not only a taker.
That encourages, I mean, well, that supports the opinion that says who does it after the prayer has fulfilled the obligation, because a lot of times these poor people don't have
but
anything except in that day.
No, it only became obligated on you if the night of Eid, like last day of Ramadan, you have enough food, not the next day. Okay. And you can give to a poor person multiple zakat. They said you can give them up to a year supply. A year of supply. Nice. Alhamdulillah. And there is a debate, is the recipient of Zakat al-Fitr only poor or all the 8 category of zakat? There is debate among the scholars. Many scholars said the 8 category, exactly like the zakat, and some said no, only the poor.
Miskin,
Miskin or faqir.
Yeah.
But there is a whole debate among the fuqaha rahimahullah. Many of the fuqaha actually, like if I'm not mistaken, the majority said it's like the zakat. إنما الصدقات للفقراء. That's general statement. But in any case, the most deserving for sure are the poor people when it comes to Zakat al-Fitr. So make sure that you give Zakat al-Fitr. That's the point. Jazakallah khair.
Barakallah feek. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh.